Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Modern Grower is your source for time and labor-saving farm tools, such as the Paper Pot Transplanter, Quick Click Seeder, and the Jang Direct Seeder. Turn laborsome tasks into free time with tools by Modern Grower.
So let's say we want to work on that compacted area. We have it. We're going to remove the tool of some sort of deep tillage. We're going to remove the tool of plant-based biology. So we're not going to use like a long tap-rooted crop like a tillage radish to get down there and bust it up. Can you apply a liquid soil drench in the form of a tea that can go down there and try and outcompete those anaerobic bacteria to change the soil biology there, which would then allow the roots of the plants that you're growing to be more efficient at that hard pan?
Yes. I've got a root injector. So part of my business is going out and doing compost tea sprays for landscapes, lawns, gardens, and farms. And I normally use it's similar to like a paint spray gun, but I also have a root injector. And the idea behind that is to get good compost tea into the root zone, especially possibly in a compacted area. And a couple weeks ago, I posted on Instagram of Japanese maple that I'm working with. I'm actually sitting like 15 feet from it right now, where I'm trying to get good biology going into the soil, into the root zone, so those roots can work with the biology and help to build structure there. And then that biology is continuing to work and grow out and reproduce, and then it's working on this structure of the soil around that. I know you said without tillage and without roots, but I need to say that, I'm talking about using a no-till system, or I'm coming across as talking about a no-till system in agriculture. And yes, we need to get to where we're no-till, but especially in Tennessee, we've got really bad clay soils. And, you can't just start off with putting a seed in a hard clay soil. You need to kind of break it up some and get something going there. So I just want to put that in there, that normally when you are starting, at least the first time, you're most likely going to have to broad for or till, hook up compost tea applicators that are going to be hooked onto your deep till method. So you're tilling at 2 or 3 feet deep, and you've got good biology that's coming out of that same depth. Otherwise, you can also use cover crops to help feed the soil and help create structure like you're talking about with the daikon radish. Otherwise, normally, if you're using a soil drench or compost, I've got a great video from way back on Instagram again, where I had inadvertently left some compost on the top of the soil in my yard. It's hard clay soil, where if I tap my finger on the soil, I can't make any penetration into it. And then just a few feet away, where I just happened to leave a couple inches of compost that had been sitting there for a year and a half maybe. And I went over there and stuck my finger in, and my finger could go down like up to here, like a good 4 inches. So the biology, like I said, you're inoculating the biology onto the soil. And what happens is it slowly works its way down through the layers of soil. And I mean, it's pretty slow. It's not going to happen, overnight or in 1 month. It's going to be several months. But it slowly works its way down, creating structure deeper and deeper into the soil. And with that, with the microbial breakdown in the soil, you're attracting more worms who are also then going to be coming into there, creating soil structure, breaking things up, kind of working the soil for you. So like, in that sense, I had left a pile of leaves, a pile of straw, and something else in a place in my yard with the intention of building a compost pile. And whatever life happened, and I didn't get to it, and it sat there for maybe 6 or 9 months. And then I took all that material and moved it somewhere else to make a compost pile. But everywhere underneath there, because it was kind of like a mulch layer or whatever, and there were microorganisms there, worms had come up and already made the top like 2 inches of that into nice pliable soil, just through the action of worms and obviously microorganisms too. So yeah, if you're not tilling and just applying compost, it's going to be a pretty slow process. If you're wanting to get good soil, I would recommend, if you're having, if you have a really hard clay soil, both clay soils and sand soil that are heavy in sand need organic matter in there to help create more structure. So putting compost down is helping to get good biology and helping to get good organic matter on there, which is going to help the microorganisms to build more structure and worms to build more structure. So yeah, tilling and then adding compost on top of that, and even putting down a compost tea to really get good biology going. And then, so that's getting life back into the soil. And then we need to keep life going in the soil by always having plants in the soil to feed the soil. So that's the importance of cover crops and companion crops. So, while in the off season, you've got a cover crop going, but also while you're growing your crop, you've got companion crops that are growing alongside. And it's a matter of picking out the right ones that are going to be a good structure where they're not going to shade out your cover crop and they're going to cover the soil nicely. But it's always going to be continuously feeding the soil, keeping that soil, the biology in the soil alive, which is then going to be able to feed all the plants that you have there.
Hey there! Tired of spending forever seeding nursery trays by hand? Meet the Quick Click Drop Seeder. It makes seeding trays super fast. Just a click and you're done. You can seed multiple trays in no time, making your nursery work way easier. Plus, it works with paper pot trays, microgreens, and any other tray that you have. Say goodbye to tedious seeding and hello to more time on the farm. Join hundreds of other farmers and try the Quick Click Seeder today. Available at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.